What's good, guys? Potsy here with a brand new experiment for you, and this one's a special one as the guys at the manager's seat reached out to me and asked if I'd like to do a video for their channel. And being a fan of not only the channel but all three great creators that run it, I jumped at the chance, and I think this experiment is rather poignant with what's going on in the Premier League at the moment. So without further ado, let's jump right into it and see what chaos we can cause. Yes, today we're going to be doing an experiment based on financial fair play. And according to Football Manager, the financial fair play rules are teams must avoid making a loss of more than 15 million over a 3-season period in order to comply. Failure to comply will result in the following sanctions. If remaining in the same division, a points deduction of 5 points for the following season. The board is allowed to invest a maximum of 90 million towards calculated income. And as we know, Everton were deducted 10 points for breaking financial fair play rules, which is included in the winter update on FM. It has now been reduced to 6 upon appeal, but now Nottingham Forest have also been deducted 4 points. They can still appeal. Nobody really knows what's going on. Leicester are being investigated now. Obviously, Manchester City still have a massive investigation ongoing into their charges, but somehow Chelsea can still spend hundreds of millions of pounds every transfer window. I don't think anybody really understands it, and I don't think it's really fair. A lot of the rich clubs just keep getting richer. So this experiment, I've made everyone rich. That's right, I've given every club in the Premier League a starting balance of £1 billion and £1 billion in the transfer kitty. What could possibly go wrong? Let's see what chaos can ensue. Are we going to see a Premier League full of world stars? Is Bellingham going to come home? Is Mbappe going to dodge Real Madrid and come to someone like Nottingham Forest or a Sheffield United? Who knows? They've all got £1 billion to spend. They've all got a transfer window to spend it. Let's see what happens in season 1. So season 1 is in the books, and I've gone to this screen to show you the league table so we can see, according to the media prediction, where they should have finished, which teams the money has benefited the most and which teams maybe haven't spent it so well, i.e. Fulham down in 18th, getting relegated after a media prediction of 13th. Brighton were predicted 9th and finished 14th, so they haven't done particularly well. Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth both finishing 5 places above where they predicted. The top 3 are as the media thought. Newcastle infiltrating the top 4 with Tottenham dropping out. United and Villa in and amongst where they should be. And if we go on to the full league table here, the first surprise is in the banks. There's a Conference League name next to Burnley. So that implies, well, it doesn't imply, that means they have won the Carabao Cup. So let's start there with a competition review. And as you can see here, it was a 2-1 victory over Manchester City in the final. No real spoilers in the goal scorers. And if we look at the profile of the overall tournament, it's the same. No real spoilers here. If we go back, Man City knocked out Chelsea in the semi-final. Burnley beat Aston Villa. Man City knocked out Liverpool as well, so they've done all the hard work. And then they got to the final, and it didn't go so well for them. I think Fulham beat Man United. Arsenal didn't even make the quarterfinals. But what about the FA Cup? I mean, there was no more out of place European competitions here. It obviously went to 7th spot, possibly because one of these teams won it. Let's have a look. And it was Man City that beat Chelsea in the final. No real surprises here. You can see Andre at Chelsea. It's a signing. You wouldn't have thought they needed the £1 billion to make that signing, but it's a signing nonetheless. But it does mean that Manchester City have so far a domestic double on the back of a treble. Can they make it a double treble? Well, they have an opportunity to. They're in the final against Bayern Munich. It's on the day of the game. So I'm going to holiday forward a day and see if they can back up a treble with another treble. And well, they have. They've gone back to back. That is a second treble in a row for Pep Guardiola and his men. Unbelievable stuff from him there. Looking at the transfers, Ceballos and Pino. I mean, Pino was in January. That's not massively unrealistic to what could happen in a normal Football Manager season. But I want to get into the nitty gritty of the other transfers. What have the other Premier League teams been up to? And I was going to go through team by team, but I've had a little look and there's not too much that's out of the ordinary. But there is, well, particularly one amazing transfer that blew my mind. Are you ready? Bang, there it is, that top one. Nicolo Barella from Inter Milan to Burnley on the 8th of January. £140 million. He's made 14 games for them and arguably helped them get that Carabao Cup, coming in, playing 2 games, so probably the second leg of the semi-final and the final. But wow, what a sign. And that is what we were hoping for. More of the same, please. Who else have we got? Simakan from Leipzig to Sheffield United for 99 million, rising to 121. Manchester United, you have to say they've overspent really. 96 million on Gonzalez. He's a great player, but come on now. Everton, without having to worry about financial fair play, 86 million on David Neres. Oh, West Ham, but Bergwijn, that's not ideal from West Ham there. Orsolini, 70. Luton have got Scalvini. I did not even see that when I went through their transfers. 53 million to 70. Come on. That is what we're talking about. Chiesa's gone to West Ham as well. Pedro Goncalves has gone to Newcastle. El Nassiri's gone to Villa, 69 million. Wow. Sociedad have been raided by Palace and Brighton for Baronetsia and Orazabal. Sheffield United have got Lookman. Koopmeiners has gone to Luton as well. Luton have done a number on Atalanta. Cool. Palacios has gone to Luton Town. Let's have a look at what that... I mean, 320 million spent. Did they go mad in January or what? I mean, they brought in... Scalvini was in September. Bakayoko from PSV. Dedic from South... I mean, they bought so well. How have they still finished 19th? Scally's okay. Yeah, Goodmanson. Palacios. Yeah, I mean, they've geared themselves right up for an immediate return to the Premier League. So who are the big spenders and who are the non-spenders? So if we just look at the January window, and you've got Sheffield United with a £298 million outlay. Burnley below them. Crystal Palace spent big. Newcastle, Everton, Luton, Brighton. So the big boys, other than sort of Man United there, were only 101 million, and most of that was spent on Gonzalez. It's been fairly quiet. Liverpool spent 51 million on Brais Mendes. Nottingham Forest headline with Abada. Brentford spent 52 million, the bulk of it on Bednarek, but they actually got rid of Ivan Toney for 46. So net-wise, they're, only just an outlay. Arsenal are actually in a profit, as were Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea, I don't know why they haven't backed up. I mean, they spent £1 billion in real life, and they've just not really done. Bournemouth, to be fair, £33 million spent, and they actually overachieved quite well. And if we just look at some of the player stats, Isak and Son sharing the Golden Boot ahead of Haaland. So that's one of the lowest totals I've ever seen Erling Haaland get, and he played 34 out of the league games. That is surprising, considering they still won the treble as well. Cool. United lost 3-0 to Liverpool on the last day of the season. Cost them Champions League. They get Champions League anyway because of the coefficient, but it cost them top 4. That's what the tables finished like in season 1. I mean, I'm excited for season 2. Let's go and see how these £1 billion worth of, let's go and see how these billions have been spent and what this is going to look like at the end of season 2. Okay, season 2 done, and we're back at the media prediction table. As you can see, Manchester City have won the league again. Please don't tell me they've gone and won a treble. That will break my fragile little heart. Aston Villa overachieving by 5 spots to get 3rd. Manchester United underachieving by 6. They got 10th. I mean, is that a sign of things to come? Certainly feels like it. Crystal Palace not doing great. No surprise that 2 of the promoted teams go down. Sheffield United and Burnley struggling after all that money spent in season 1. Have they just run out, or have they just not backed it up properly? Leicester, I mean, I didn't give the promotion teams money. I might do that for future seasons, but Leicester actually done well to stay up. Bournemouth in and around, overachieving again. Brentford overachieving by a spot. But probably the big news there, Burnley nearly going down, Sheffield United going down. How does that relate to the overall table? Well, Burnley have got Europa League and Brentford have also got Europa League. So I'm guessing Brentford won the FA Cup and Burnley actually won the Conference League. And it certainly was a detriment to their league form. They finished in 17th, 3 points clear of Sheffield United. And both teams won their last 2 games. So that would have been an exciting finish. Manchester City only a defeat at home to Brighton, 101 points. Liverpool 16 points behind them, only losing 3, including both games to Man City, and at 1-0 defeat to Wolves. But it's the draws, 10 draws, that would have cost them massively. Newcastle will get the Conference League spot. You've got the 5 Champions League teams there. Wow. What? So let's have a look then. So did Newcastle win the Carabao Cup? No, it was actually Brentford. Brentford win the Carabao Cup. So I'm not sure the permutations of that. Is that because Brighton won the Conference League? You would have thought Brentford would have still gone into the conference. I don't really know how that's worked out. But Brentford have won the Carabao Cup. They beat Aston Villa in the final. And they've got themselves into the Europa League for season 3. Fair play, Brentford. Nope, the reason why they're in the Europa League is because they went and won the FA Cup as well. They beat Liverpool 2-1 in the final. Lorenzo Luca getting a joint top goal scorer in the competition. That is a season to remember for Brentford. 2 domestic trophies. I mean, it was a close final. Salah missed the penalty to level it up. Szoboszlai got himself sent off. They brought in Garassi as well. I mean, let's get off this because there's some spoilers there. Right, so no treble for Man City. That is a relief. But is there just 3 Champions Leagues in a row, I guess is probably the easiest way to say it. No, not to be this year. Liverpool have been the ones to knock them off their perch, but actually beat Arsenal 3-1 in the final. Vinicius Jr., okay, that's definitely that transfer spoiled, but he's gone and got himself a goal in the final. Ramsdale's had a shocker. And yeah, I mean, someone had to step up to Man City. Where did they actually go out? Let's have a little look. Liverpool actually were the ones that beat them in the semi-final. Salah and Rodrigo in that one. And you can see Marcus Thuram's actually at Man United. That's another little spoiler there for you. But I think that's everything from the Premier League that we're going to have spoiled. So let's go and have another look at what chaos has happened with some of these transfers. Well, we don't have to look too far for where the money was spent. The highest transfer was Rodrigo from Real Madrid to Manchester City for £199 million up front. They've paid the whole £270 million for Rodrigo. And certainly the Premier League teams having this money has bumped up what they're having to pay for some of these players. They're overspending. I mean, that's not an abnormal transfer. You see that happen quite often on Football Manager, but not really for that kind of money, unless we're I mean, look at that. Mark Gahey's gone to Manchester United for £187 million up front. Oh my goodness, that is just Man United in a nutshell. Let's have a look at, that was a second bit higher. Bastoni's gone to Burnley as well. I mean, are we just going to call them Internazionale Burnley? They've got Mikel Arteta. I mean, I didn't even think of the connotations of what managers are going to go where. Oh, that's another little thing for us to have a look at in a minute. But Bastoni and Barella go. Nico Williams to Bournemouth. Elise to... this is what we're talking about. Go on, Bournemouth. 3 transfers over £100 million. Ben Seguir, the Wonder Kid, to Nottingham Forest. There's the Thuram signing. Coop Miners only stayed at Luton for a year. No surprise they went down. But Brighton have snapped in for him. Jimenez to Newcastle, 52 million. Scalvini's left Luton as well. They've been raided. So have Benfica. Antonio Silva to Man United. Morato to Arsenal. I'd imagine, there's Sporting Lisbon there. I'd imagine the Portuguese league is being stripped of all its assets. So Marzic to Burnley. I tell you what, Burnley might just be my favourite team on the back of this experiment. They have really read the assignment. They have gone in and spent big. I see João Neves there, but he's gone to Tottenham. Okay, not not massively exciting. Matisse Tell to Liverpool, okay. Goretzka, Bayern Munich have just been absolutely mullered. Gnabry's gone to Forest. I like it. Diego Costa's gone to West Ham. Okay, I mean, Burnley's looked like they've calmed down a bit. Here comes Sheffield United. I mean, Burnley still finished 17th though, didn't they? I mean, it's funny. Evan Nilsson to Villa. Yeah, João Palhinha's gone to Brentford. I mean, Fulham did go down. Not really surprising. There's the Ceballos signing from Real Madrid to Manchester City. That was... yeah, don't know why that was showing there. João Felix has gone to Wolves. The Portuguese revolution continues. Yes, this is what I was hoping to see from this experiment. Eddie Nketiah going... Kolo Muani to Arsenal. Okay, got to stop getting excited. Some of these aren't there. Burnley again. Saibari, I've never heard of him. Decent. He's only played the 6 games though. Palacios left Luton to go to Chelsea. I mean, poor old Luton have been absolutely stripped of their assets, haven't they? They finished third. I mean, did they go up? Are they coming back? They are. They beat West Brom in the playoff final, so they are coming back. Are the rest of the teams that went down, Fulham and Everton, yeah. So, I mean, have they still gone absolutely mental? Kind of. Well, no, that's the... I mean, there's more outgoings, really. There's more outgoing. If we go... Can we go transfers in? No. There we go, transfers in. We actually can. So, Everton, 50 million. Fulham got Jonathan Tah from Arsenal. Luton went to Salernitana. Simicast to Fulham. I mean, yeah, it's just money, isn't it? It's what happens. I mean, look at all these transfers are the relegated teams. If you look at, I mean, even when you go down, it's not a lot. 2.1 million. Coventry with 500k. That is the biggest signing in the Championship outside of the relegated teams from the Premier League. But yeah, I mean, that solves my riddle about do I need to give the promoted teams money? Not this year, because all 3 teams have come back up. Now, what are Luton going to do? Are they going to go back and raid Atalanta? Are Everton going to... I mean, they got Sean Dyche. I just realised that he's got not at Everton. I thought I was looking at Everton when I saw his face. But yeah, Man United finishing 10th. What are they going to do? Season 3 is right around the corner. Okay, season 3, and we have our first new winner of the Premier League, and that is Arsenal, predicted to finish 2nd. But look at West Ham, a media prediction of 10th, and they're up in 3rd. Manchester City, after 2 trebles and another Premier League win, have dropped down to 5th. United have finished back-to-back 10th place finishes. Luton, Forest and Fulham, the ones to go down. So Everton stay up, Leicester stay up. And that is because I gave them £1 billion. Pretty much. I mean, not that you'd know it from that screen there. Conference League goes to Villa. Burnley are back in the Europa League. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. But Burnley are back then. Burnley have into Burnley. I mean, they've only just narrowly missed out on 7th there. But they're back pushing where you'd think the money they spent should got them. I'm intrigued by this West Ham move here. 3rd in the league with Vincent Kompany. I mean, they stole Burnley's manager. That explains why Arteta was there. But I mean, look at that. Upamecano in at West Ham. Pulisic in for only 7.5 million. They've not spent massive this year. They did spend massive there though. And I mean, with 2026, so Javi Guerra for 54. Yeah, 41 for Diego Costa. We saw that already. So not massive improvement on the squad they already had. We did say we were going to look at some of the manager movements, didn't we? So let's have a look here. So Man City, Postecoglou's been sacked. So Guardiola already left Man City. De Zerbi left, offered a new role. He's at Man United. It does actually say that there. Zidane is at Tottenham after Arne Slot got sacked. Zidane actually got sacked from Villa. So he was at Villa. Guardiola left Manchester City because he was offered a new job, and he's at Arsenal. So he's just collecting Premier League trophies for fun here. Antonio Conte got sacked from Fulham. They replaced him with Slot. This is actually quite funny. So Ten Hag got sacked on the 20th of December. Nick Cox ran it till the end of the season. And now De Zerbi. So De Zerbi's only just gone there. Yeah, literally yesterday in game. Postecoglou is unemployed. Big Ange. Not having a good time of things. I mean, he's only just been sacked from Manchester City. That might be why. When did old Arteta? So Jurgen Klopp left at the end of his contract and has gone to Chelsea. Arteta, we already know, is at Burnley. Jack Wilshere's into Unai Emery left to go to back to Paris Saint-Germain. Zidane was at Tottenham. Thomas Tuchel is at Crystal Palace. Yes. I mean, some of these manager transfers are just as interesting as some of the players. But back to the Premier League, and Bournemouth around mid-table. It's a shame that Luton, Fulham have gone straight back down. Nottingham Forest have been dragged back and they're out. Leicester have stayed up. Bournemouth still in around that mid-table, but Burnley, my new favourite team, in the Europa League, despite finishing 8th. So Conference League for Villa. So something spicy's happened in some of the cups, and it was actually Tottenham that won the Carabao Cup, beating Villa, thanks to Ansu Fati and Brennan Johnson. Sven Botman in at Villa there. Evan Nilsson from Villa getting the top goal scorer. So we've had 3 funky winners of the Carabao Cup. Tottenham, not the biggest shock in the... Actually, it is. They don't win anything, do they? Could they follow in Brentford's footsteps and do a domestic cup double? No, they couldn't. It is the stars of the video so far. Burnley, who have taken the trophy, beating Crystal Palace in the final. What a day out that would have been for those 2 sets of fans, by the way. 2-1 victory. Gyuri, they still got Bastoni. I'm loving this Burnley team. Mikel Arteta now looking to build on Company's good work. But Crystal Palace getting to a final and doing what they've done against Man United, actually taking the lead. And, hopefully Thomas Tuchel didn't do a dance on the touchline like Pardew did. But it's the same result. It's another disappointing trip to Wembley for Palace. And in the Champions League, we have our 3rd different Premier League winner, with Chelsea taking the crown, beating Barcelona in the final. So Jurgen Klopp with another Champions League to his CV. A 1-0 win with Nkunku scoring the goal. Gavi's there, scored against his old club, Lucas Ocampos. There was part of me, despite knowing that Palacios had gone to Chelsea, that was kind of expecting the normal Chelsea team. Imagine they got all this money that I've given them and they spent nothing, but they only had 2 shots on target, mind you. Barca didn't have 1. But let's look at the fun stuff. Let's look at where all this money was spent. And the bulk of it was on that Gavi transfer. 244 million rising to 279. That's the biggest thing we've seen so far. Andre Onana's gone to Newcastle for 89 million. Federico he's gone to Real Madrid. Let's get rid of that. We don't want to see Real Madrid buying players. Benjamin Sesko to Tottenham, 86 million. Kingsley Coman, Villa to Brighton, 82 million. I didn't even know he'd gone to Villa. Lookman from Sheffield United to Newcastle. Openda, Leipzig have had one of the windows that they had last year. All their big names getting snapped up by the Premier League. And it's Crystal Palace and Luton Town. They're trying to be a Burnley. They're trying to get their name as far up this side of this table as they can, but they cannot stay in the Premier League, it seems. Piero Hinsapi from Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal signed Mansverk. Burnley, there they are. They're always there, never disappoint. Gyuri. Some of these ones I'm seeing, it's the second transfer, and I didn't even know the first one had gone through. Trubin, Benfica have lost another big star. We'd seen that already. Upamecano we knew about. Curtis Jones to Arsenal. Pafundi to Lisandro Martinez from Man United to Chelsea. Leon Bailey to Fulham. Hakimi to Brighton. Yes, Brighton joining the party. Sotalo to Brighton as well. Conceição to Palace. Brian Bobby to Man City. That is a strange one. Cucurella to Burnley. Anthony to Crystal Palace. Not sure about that one, lads. Probably what cost you the FA Cup final. Thomas Lemar to Everton. I mean, I think we've seen the bulk of the surprises there. Barriera going from Man United to Bournemouth. Yeah, we're in like the £23 million now. There probably is a couple of shocks here. Barbosa to Fulham, maybe. We knew Kenji Pires is going already. Yeah, I think that's probably it for this season now. So season 4 is coming up. Are we going to see a 4th different Premier League side winning the Champions League? Could it be West Ham? Could it be Arsenal? We'll have to be one of them if it is going to be a 4th one. But only one way to find out. And it's business as usual. Manchester City have reclaimed their crown from Arsenal, but the media thought that was going to happen anyway. Then we have Tottenham and Liverpool, and the biggest surprise is probably that Liverpool were predicted to finish 6th. They finished 4th. Chelsea were Champions League winning. Chelsea have only got 5th. Brighton up in 6th, but they were finished 7th. Burnley up there. I mean, Burnley just doing bits. Manchester United predicted 4th. Why? They've got 2 10th place. I mean, they must have spent big, but they're still rubbish. 9th place in the league. Aston Villa haven't really capitalised on their form. Sheffield United back in the Premier League, but back down along with West Brom and Southampton. Bournemouth failed to overachieve, but Newcastle down in 14th, and that is where they was expected. And they still got Eddie Howe. Not sure what's going on there, but I guess there's only really one way to find out. So this is the Premier League. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the party, Brentford. Let's just... That is why we do crazy experiments like that, to see Lautaro Martinez at Brentford for £273 million. You're welcome, Brentford fans. You're welcome. And we'll go on to the non-spoiler screen and we'll see that even Brighton in 6th have got a Champions League spot. Does that mean another Premier League team has won it? I mean, it could. Burnley and West Ham in Europa League, and Manchester United, they're down in 9th, bless them, with a Conference League spot. Does that mean they won the Carabao Cup? No, that crown has gone to Liverpool. It's the 4th different winner. It's the first time you'd probably say that it was one that would be expected to win it, but it took penalties for them to beat West Ham. Who was it that missed the vital finish? It was Diogo Costa. Wow, they've gone all the way through. I mean, they got Laporte as well. Ward-Prowse, Ibrahimovic. Obviously, that's Arjen Ibrahimovic. What am I thinking? Bit excited there for no reason. And yeah, it got all the way to the 11th. Or did it? Because it's only 8-7. So maybe a few bottle jobs didn't take a penalty. But yeah, that is Liverpool with a trophy to their name. Gonzalez and Salah and Jota are top scorers. Not seeing any real other spoilers for any big transfers there. That's good. What about the FA Cup then? And the FA Cup, boringly, has been won by Arsenal. I can hear you boo into your screens as I say this. They beat Newcastle 2-1 in the final. I mean, I'd have preferred to see Newcastle win it. João Pedro with a consolation. But that's another trophy with 4 different winners. Is it going to be 4 different winners in the Champions League? No, it's not to be. Chelsea have gone back-to-back, and they've done it against Barcelona again with a 2-0 win. Xerxes and Sterling on the score sheet for them. They're still dominated by the Premier League clubs, but Chelsea, back-to-back Champions League, despite finishing 5th. So Jurgen Klopp is clearly the European Cup king in terms of his reign at Chelsea. Is that because he's bought in? I mean, he hasn't even spent a penny on the season before. Jurgen, think of the content, will ya? He has let Gallagher go to Manchester City, but only 12 million. I mean, he's just not thinking of the content at all. But I know what you're thinking. Screw Jurgen Klopp. What have Burnley been up to? And if you look at it, they lost 3 of their last 5 games of the season. They could have been up there. They certainly could have been in. They could have made it into the Champions League. Just one of them wins. Away defeat to Southampton, who finished bottom of the league. That's cost them a Champions League spot. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to win the Europa League next year to get in there, but they'll be disappointed with that. And I'm disappointed not to see them right at the top here. But look at that for overspending nearly 200 million. Well, 266 in total on João Pedro for Newcastle. Valentin Carboni has gone to Crystal Palace for what will be nearly £300 million in add-ons. Shelderup for 170 to Sheffield United. They're making a late run to be the team of the video. Van Duyven, I haven't heard that name for a couple of FMs, but he's gone to Leicester for a massive amount of money. I mean, look at all these over 100 million. Ruben Van Bommel, Mark Van Bommel's son, to Sheffield United for 100 million. Bournemouth, they're not going to be left behind. Alex Romero, is he a new gen? No, he's a real goalkeeper that they bought from Sociedad for £95 million. Sociedad, they're going to have some serious funds to spend next year. Kvaratskhelia, oh, you're joking. When did he sign for Fulham? He's gone to Bournemouth now. Wait, how did we miss him? How did we miss that? In the What? Fulham signed Kvaratskhelia when they was in the Championship. That's unbelievable. Well, they're sold into Bournemouth now, so that's even more unbelievable. But I can't believe I missed that. I'm going to have to go through the footage and see if it was anywhere on the screen. I've just been stupid. Manchester United spending quite big, raiding Dortmund a couple of times and Bayern Munich. Ezri Konsa to Arsenal. Adrago from Atalanta to Brighton. So Atalanta have had some money go in and out. Christopher Bonsu Ba, 22 years old. So he's not a new gen. Not heard of him. Looks pretty decent. Brentford certainly think so, to splash out that kind of money on him. They also got Hinsapi from Luton. Poor old Luton. Spending big. Dembele to Wolves. Darwin Núñez to Brighton. I mean, this is fun. I could just look at this screen and just go through every single transfer. But every now and then I see a name like Dumfries and I get excited, and I see Man United. Not great. Luis Diaz, Liverpool to Brentford. Fair play. Who else? We got anything? Oh, wrong. Edison. Wan-Bissaka to Arsenal. Orkan Kirkchu, one of my favourite players this year on this year's FM. So Benfica, he's gone to Bournemouth. I'll tell you what, between Sheffield United, Bournemouth and Burnley, possibly even Brighton, it's making me want to do all sorts of FM saves. See if I can try and replicate these transfers without £1 billion in the bank. Right then, boys and girls, we have one season left and one season only. What's going to happen? Are we going to slot back to West Ham? Sorry, distracted. Are we going to see something fun in the last season to really cap this off? I mean, Bellingham to Burnley, anyone maybe? Well, arguably an even bigger surprise. Tottenham have won the Premier League. Benjamin Sesko with 17 goals. I mean, Lautaro Martinez, I love that. They've got Brentford are going to be in the Champions League. Man United are back in the top 5. It's all looking so fun. Luton have stayed up. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Kvaratskhelia is going to have another year in the Championship. I mean, I want to see him another year. I want to go further, but I've got to stay strong. You guys have got valuable time you've spent on this video, and I want you to get back to your life. So let's have a little quick run. Champions League West Ham does... Ooh, hello. Conference League Brighton. Carabao Cup then. Who's done that? It is Brighton. A 1-0 victory over West Ham. Darwin Núñez with the goal. Pulisic got man of the match in a losing effort. Unlucky. That is 5 different winners of the Carabao Cup. That's the kind of chaos we want. That's what I wanted from this video. What about the FA Cup? Brentford have done it again. Lautaro Martinez. Oh yes. I mean, it's not quite 5 different winners. We'll settle for 4 different winners, one of them being Man City was a bit boring, but Brentford with 2 of them, I'm a big fan of that. Champions League, Chelsea, I mean, they've got the opportunity to go back to back to back. Have they done it? No, they haven't. Arsenal have gone and done it with a 2-1 victory over Barcelona. They've lost 3 finals in a row. They must be sick to death of playing these billionaire English sides. Kai Havertz with an 89th minute winner. It would make you sick. And it's just dawned on me that we haven't really been paying attention to any of the other European competitions, which could have had English winners. So let's look at the Europa League, and West Ham and Villa and Liverpool have done it. So I feel like I've let you down a bit there. But, West Ham beat Burnley. No. Inter Burnley. It's because they haven't played Bastoni. Was he suspended? Burnley have got Vlahovic, guys. West Ham have got Rafa Leao. Oh my goodness. Burnley take the win. Burnley take the win. I thought Lautaro Martinez firing Brentford to all these trophies was going to be... But Burnley might just be my new favourite team. What about if we go to stages? What if we go last season? Burnley. Can't see it. Burnley have lost another final. Brentford lost the final. Villa won, they beat Spurs. Spurs lost the final. And Liverpool beat Brighton in season 1. So, Burnley. I feel for you, buddies. I mean, if anyone wants the save file for this, reach out to me. I'll give it to you. If anyone wants to take over these billionaire playgrounds and see what kind of... I mean, even go another 5 years, why not? Conference League, United lost to Leverkusen. Typical. Villa lost to Lazio the year before. Leipzig beat Sevilla. So the Conference... Burnley, there we go. They did win a Conference League. I'm sure I mentioned that, which didn't look at it for some reason. But that's all good. Burnley, 2 FA Cups, Conference League title. Go on, Arteta. What did happen with Bastoni, by the way? He gone. No, he's there. He's 29. Maybe he was suspended. I don't know. But, I mean, is that what's cost them a second European trophy? Who knows? Arteta's still there. Musiala to Man United. Okay, they're back in the big time and they are trying to prove it. Or maybe that's what got them there. The Musiala signing. 287 million. That is a fair chunk of change. Kenan Yildiz going from Juventus to Man City. Jeremy Doku, 98 million to Brentford. Luton. Guendouzi. I mean, being there got me excited. Seeing that, not so much. Ravella. Lazio are going to have some money next year. Costilla to Brentford. Not sure. New gent, that's why. Isak from Bayern Munich back to Luton. Yes, I mean, Luton, fair play. You're trying your best as well. Fofana to Man United for 69. Savio to Nottingham Forest. Wolves got Lewis Ferguson for an extortionate amount of money. Let's go to Inns. And are we going to see a West Ham? There, Jamie Donnelly to them. Bournemouth, wouldn't be a season without them spending 50-odd million. Canandoro. Jota to Chelsea, that's boring. Simmercan's gone to Luton. Okay, it seems to have died down a little bit then. Ollie Watkins to Crystal Palace. So no more real massive surprise names. But I'd have to say I've been entertained by this experiment. And I hope you have too. If you have, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the Manager's Seat. Come and visit me on PottsyFM. I do a few more of these wacky experiments for you. And we'll take it from there. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. See you later.